afternoon. This is Yona Adisi, aka that guy over there. I have just finished building my own table saw, and before anyone starts saying anything about safety issues, this is only a temporary solution until a table saw can be bought. But not everyone has the money to go right out and get one when they need one, which is the case in my case. I cannot afford a brand new table saw or even a used one, so I built one out of an extra circular saw that I own. And so, let's meet George, shall we? This here is my homemade table saw. I made it out of just scrap lumber I had laying around, 2x4s, an old toddler bed that I took apart, and a circular saw, and some scrap plexiglass that I had laying around. Eventually I will buy a brand new piece of plexiglass so it wouldn't have to be pieced together. My rip fence is, as you can see, a couple of 1x4s that I ripped down and put these little ends on it so it'll run into the runners of this old toddler bed. I made it high enough that eventually I am going to put a piece of plyboard over this, so when I'm not using it, I could just set it right over the blade for a little bit of extra safety for when it's not in use. That cat's name is Squirrel. I rigged up a switch and a receptacle. I will very soon put a cover plate on that receptacle, so don't worry about it, safety issues there. It is a child safety receptacle that it has the child safety inside the receptacle, so it makes the plug hard to push in, but it's safe. And there's my switch. That way I could plug the circular saw into the plug and hit the switch to turn it on and off. And just plug this here into my extension cord. This here is my homemade push stick. I just keep it hung on a screw here so it's readily available when it's needed. I cut the slot for the blade itself fairly wide so the blade guard could stay intact and be used. As you can see, I cut the slot a little too wide, so when I put the plexiglass over it, I narrowed the slot. Underneath, it's just 2x4s and a circular saw. As you can see, it is clamped to the bottom of the table. I got a piece of wire over the trigger to keep it pressed. It's not a safety issue since I have the cutoff switch mounted to the leg. It's just a piece of plyboard and some 2x4s. Yeah, I've already tested it once. It works pretty good. That's another thing about this. I could put my safety glasses inside the rip fence when I get a cover over it, so they're always readily available. And I guess here in a little bit, actually right now, I think I shall go ahead and give you a demonstration. But it's just, like I said, put together with scrap lumber and an old and an extra circular saw that I have. Yeah, I think that should give you enough for a demonstration right there, don't you think? Let's see here. Let's zoom us in. You'll have to forgive the camera. It's just a $20 Walmart camera. my good camera when I was up in Nevada. It fell over when I was filming some wildlife on my 20 acres, and unfortunately the wind blew it over and it broke. So I had to replace it with this $20 Walmart camera, but it does the job. See, works rather well. Well, this is Jonah DC signing off.